Hello, 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 and welcome. We are going to demo some great stuff for you today on the Plant Powered Life podcast, video stream, whatever you want to call this thing. But I've got some avocados, I've got some onions, I got some garlic, and forget the avocado. Let's just talk about sauteing and cooking in general. And you guys know what we're all about. We're about that whole food, plant based, but also no oil. Why would we be no oil? Well, I'm going to just go ahead and, well, let me just say, we're going to teach you some wild cooking techniques today that about a year and a half ago, I didn't even know it was possible to do this stuff. But I'm going to turn it over to Kindle right now because she's amazing and she's going to intro this a little bit too. Go ahead.
Cool. All right. Well, I totally agree with you, Doug. About 3 or 4 years ago, the idea of cooking without oil sounded absolutely impossible. I grew up on the EVOO bandwagon, Rachel Ray, cooking with oil, and I'm sure you did too, especially if you are from the South. If you grew up anywhere in America, you know, we always cook with oil. That is the foundation. It's oil, butter, something in the pan to brown your veggies. And so what really, though, is exciting is we actually don't need to cook with oil. And anytime we cook with oil, you are actually adding hundreds and hundreds of calories to your food. And that can be one of the most simple ways to radically reduce weight, to improve your overall health. And the less oil you're using in your food, the healthier you can actually be. And not that oil's bad. You know, Doug and I both love oil because we love cold pressed seed oil from Omegas. They're amazing for you. And we use an algae based oil that we take every single day with Juice Plus. And though oils that we put into our pans that we're cooking with, they get heated up to temperatures that are actually causing it to be carcinogenic. So that's not great for us. Definitely don't want to eat food that has rancid oils in it. And we just really don't even know what's even in the grocery store at your local, you know, Kroger or Publix. The oils that we're getting, they're just not great quality oils. So we're going to teach you some simple methods. We're going to jump right in with some water sauteing. And Doug actually has been working with forks over knives. And he did a video explaining the forks over knives cooking class. So he's going to start teaching you right away how to do a very cool method called dry sauteing.
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna explain to you what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna start doing it. So on my side of the screen, you'll just see the process that I'm explaining. But then Kindle's gonna begin her process of what she's gonna demo. So if you start in the middle of this video, you're gonna be confused. If you're with us right now, you're gonna get it, and you can always rewind to see each side. All right. So I want to have a healthier. Let's say I'm making a marinara or something. So I have some onions that are cut up over here, and I have some garlic that's cut up and ready to go. And so what I want to do is I want to saute this, but I'm not going to use any oil at all because of what Kendall was just talking about with the calories and stuff. So what you're going to see me do is, first of all, I'm going to test my pan. It's super hot, and you know it's ready when it forms into like one single ball of just, it looks like I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see it rolling around. One single ball, it looks like mercury or something. I'm going to throw that out into the sink. If that would just split into a million balls, then your pan's too hot, okay? So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to put my onions in. I'm going to let those caramelize, and I'm going to keep stirring and stirring and stirring with no oil whatsoever. And then once that's nice and brown, I'm going to put my garlic in, and the garlic's only going to touch the pan for like 10, 15 seconds. Then I'm going to put some vegetable broth in there, and I'm going to get all that goodness that's been getting brown in the pan. I'm going to get it going, and I'm going to let that boil off and reduce down, and that's going to be just as good, maybe even better than if I would have done it with oil. And if you're a cook, you know that's where your flavor comes from that saute that happens in the pan, okay? So I'm going to mute, and I'm going to get to it. Actually, I'm not even going to mute because you know what? Sometimes I like to just say random things, you know? It might happen. All right. So I'm going to start cooking, and you do your thing.
While you are talking, while you're showing that, Doug, I'm going to show you guys just real quick, too. So most of us are very familiar with Pam, and from a health coach perspective and from somebody who is committed and dedicated to helping you lose weight on a whole food plant-based diet, Pam is your number one enemy. And I'm sorry if your name is Pam. We're not against you, but just the spray. Because this right here, just to give you guys like some little science and education on this, Pam has 0 calories in it, technically. That's like their claim to fame. And though they have over 558 servings in each one of these. And so if you think about it, they say you are going to do a serving size of 1/4 of a second for the spray. Who in the world is able to take this and go 1/4 of a second? Like, you don't even touch it. Like, 1/4 of a second is so fast. So there's no way that this is actually 0 calories. This is just a very cool, trendy little marketing technique for them to sell a product so that it is a 0 calorie product, a very fad diet product. And to add on top of that, this has canola oil in it. And canola oil is processed where it is removing, it's actually used with bleach to separate and clean the oil. It's very gross. You do not want to eat bleach. So I'm going to just say, please stay away from Pam, unless you're my friend Pam Spears, who's probably watching this. We love you. So what do we want to use instead? Well, just like Doug was talking about, we can use other products that are super healthy, and you can either use a vegetable broth. That's what I'm using. I actually made my own veggie broth from other vegetables in the house. I have a tower garden, so every time I am cleaning it up, taking out scraps, veins in vegetables, like the very tough leafy greens, I throw that into a container with some water and heat it up, and I make my own veggie broth. That's something you can totally do. And if you are not cooking in a pan and you're like, well, what do I do in the oven? You can use parchment paper. And parchment paper is perfect for baking. A really great, delicious way to like cover your veggies in a sauce so it has a lot of yummy flavor is you can use balsamic, and you can make it so that it's like any flavor balsamic out there. I have a delicious blackberry and ginger flavor that is so good on sweet potatoes chopped up, or on onions, and you bake it in the oven. It's just remarkable. It tastes so good. So those are some ideas. And what I'm going to show you guys too is I'm going to get my pan going. So we're both cooking dinner. Are you making dinner for your family right now, Doug?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going the black beans and rice route or if I'm going to use this for a marinara. We'll see. But if you can see, I'm getting it. It's starting to get a little caramelized and brown. I'm gonna go ahead and, that's one thing that bad cooks tend to do is they don't go far enough in their browning and their sautéing. You want to get those charred flavors, just like if you were on the grill or something. So notice too that I'm keeping it moving. Okay, it's almost like a stir fry. And when we don't have oil, we have to keep it moving so one spot of the vegetable isn't just sitting on the pan.
Oh, that's great.
I'm almost ready to put my garlic in. Then I'm going to put some broth in, and we're going to let it simmer down.
That is so cool. I love getting to see this process. I'm going to show you mine. I'm actually making dinner for us right now, so this is a perfect live to do at 5 o'clock because we'll be eating in 30 minutes. I'm going to do a vegetable stir fry. This is one of my favorite dishes for us to make because it's a rainbow of food of different colors. So I've got some purple cabbage. These are actually cauliflower greens from the Tower Garden. I grew the biggest head of cauliflower ever. And I'll have to show you guys that too in a separate post. And then I got some carrots and broccoli. And I'm going to go ahead and put this into my pan. And I've got in here the vegetable broth going. That is going to be the liquid to keep it all cooking and not sticking to the pan.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
That sounds awesome.
Oh, man, you should smell this. It's
There
insane.
is nothing like that. That combo, that is like the most classic combination in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm doing mine a little different since I've got some much meatier vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to throw in my carrots and my broccoli at the same time. And I'm actually just going to put the lid on this. And I'm basically doing a bit of a steam first. And then that's going to reduce down the liquid because I've got about like an inch of liquid in the bottom. And I'm going to just put a top on there and then let it kind of simmer down for a little bit, and then I will add the veggies.
So do you still call that, like, loosely, do you call that like a water saute in your mind? Are you thinking saute?
This is the artist in me coming out, where I'm like, this is I call it a saute, but really it's a one pan process that I'm doing. So I'm going to be doing
You're almost braising it.
Right? Or is that
You
the
know?
right word? Would it be a boil?
I don't know. I think braise is a little shorter of like a water type of thing. Blanching would be just dumping it in. But in the old days, in your oil days, wouldn't you just load up the pan with oil and then just kind of saute it that way?
Oh yeah. It's so easy to just pour calories, hundreds and hundreds of calories on food with the oil. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about it at that time that I was really cooking with that much oil. It didn't seem like I really cooked with that much until I removed it, and then I just started seeing the weight come off of me.
Don't these onions just look like normally sauteed browned onions? It's amazing.
They look amazing. They look perfect.
Like, I'm eating these onions right now, and literally I could just eat this for dinner. There's no oil. There's probably 0 calories in this. Not 0 calories, 0 fat for sure.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Like, how has your cleaning process changed since cooking without oil? Like the cleanup in the kitchen. Have you noticed that to be faster?
Well, yeah, because right now I'm looking at the knobs on my stove, and they're like, there's nothing on them. But you know, when my daughter, no offense, I think she's around, but I mean, I have to disassemble the stove and take the knobs off and like clean them individually because the oil cakes everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So sometimes, like, if I'm cooking for the family and I have to do a regular saute, and it's not just that she's like a kid. I mean, oil does splash back onto your. That's why they call it a backsplash. You know. So I'm finding. Well, just so you guys know, so I just put about 3/4 cup of broth in here. Now the broth is gone, and I could put more if I wanted, but I'm going to turn this off, and I'm done. So this is. I would just continue with my recipe at this point. So using a lot of times, some of the recipes you might want to cook, the only thing like unhealthy about them would be the massive amounts of oil you have to put, or maybe you're a cardiac patient and you want to make sure you're just going a little bit lower fat and you want to be lower oil. Then if that's the case, just use this method of sauteing and then do your normal recipe. Okay. Even if you, no matter what I was going to do, like I could do black beans in there now and make a black beans and rice and maybe street tacos or something.
Yeah.
Or I could go with some tomato sauce or maybe tomato paste on top of this and then just kind of get that going and make a quick sauce. I could even put like some white wine in there and make like a wine sauce that could go over pasta. There's so much you can do.
Do you use a lot of sauces? Do you have any sauces that are like your favorite, or do you make a lot of your own sauces?
I make a lot of sauces, yes. And I think eating this way, Kendall, is sauces are critical. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the sauce section. Here we are at Trader Joe's. You know, they have a cool vegan Caesar dressing. It's really good. Ooh. But a whole top shelf of my refrigerator has tons of sauces. I like to do hot sauces, a lot of different Asian products to try to get certain flavors. So yeah, I think sauce is really important when you're cutting out. See, because what Kendall and I are cutting out. Oh yeah, see that's good. What is that? A sriracha?
This is a sriracha. There's a H Mart Asian grocery store around here, so I try and load up on sauces. And just make sure that, you know, whenever you buy anything, you just want to make sure you read that there's total fat is 0, and then you're good to go.
Oh, well, I usually don't like, I'm a hot sauce connoisseur, and I actually don't like the taste of sriracha usually. Everybody seems to like it. But I found this one in my store by Badia. I don't know if you have this brand where you live. It's like a Latin brand. So this is a Badia sriracha. chili sauce with garlic. And I'm telling you, this is delicious on my Asian food. It is
That sounds
just
amazing.
sensational. So it's like a garlicky sriracha. But yeah, I think when you're cutting out fats and you're cutting out meat, um, you want to bring bold, exciting flavors to your food. So I think sauce is really important. Whether you're making your sauce or whether you're buying a sauce, you still have to check your label on your sauces. Make sure they don't
Hmm.
have weird things, or make sure it's not loaded with oil or something like that. But yeah, this one is one of the good ones. Not that I'm going to use it on this dish. I don't even know what my dish is yet. What are you putting
Yeah.
in yours there?
I am putting, so I actually enjoy a nice teriyaki flavor. I can get a little, I think we need to like help along the journey whenever changing from a no oil added diet. It really helps, like you're saying, to add sauces. So anytime that I can find and buy a sauce and not have to make it myself, I am ecstatic. And so I really
Mm.
do like some teriyaki sauces. This one is based with soy, and there is sugar, cornstarch, vinegar, garlic. So sugar, though, is not like something I had to kind of get through my head is that sugar isn't the enemy nearly as much as oil is,
Mm.
which we always hear people saying like, oh, sugar's so bad for you. It's the worst thing that ever happened. And while it isn't the greatest thing to just pour on top of our food all the time, there are some really cool studies showing how people are still totally capable of losing weight, having a really healthy lifestyle with a little bit of sugar added in. If you listen to our friend Mia last week or 2 weeks ago, she was talking about how at the, what was the name of the center that you went to?
Synergy Lifestyle Center.
She was talking about how they included within the program about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup per day. If you wanted
Yeah.
to have some sort of sugar and not go over that, and it's really, I mean, that adds a lot of sweetness
Oh yeah.
to your food. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, but I mean, this is such a simple way to cook. There's so much flavor. I really am a big fan of making my own veggie broth. This is actually from the head of cauliflower. Doug, I grew the biggest cauliflower
I
plant.
saw it.
It
I
was
saw that on your wall.
monstrous.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So I just save whatever from comes off the tower, and then I will boil it with some water. It's so easy to do this. And then I'll just make a homemade veggie broth and then use it in all my cooking. And it seriously adds a crazy amount of flavor to it.
Mm.
So, but yeah, all I'm doing
Hey,
right now, go ahead.
I was going to say for we're encouraging cooking today. Having good gear for cooking makes it a lot more enjoyable and fun. And we did an episode about stuff we love in the kitchen, but I don't know if you have a Home Goods near you, Kindle. But man, I went to Home Goods. I just got this pan. It's like an $80 pan that I paid $19.99 for it.
What?
And
Oh
just
my
like
God.
finding a good pan, having a good chef knife, and like making sure it's sharp, and having a steamer, and like all the things. I was looking for a pasta maker in there. Actually, I've been watching Master Chef, and I'm like, man, I want to make some pasta, with a healthy sauce. And
Yeah.
hey, what's that on the left there that you're stirring? What is that?
So I've got over here some rice noodles. Do you guys ever
Oh,
cook
okay.
rice noodles?
Yeah.
They're so fast. They're so quick. So at this point, I just kind of have barely cooked them, and I'm just going to add these directly into,
Oh, you don't even strain them. You're just going to put it right in there.
when it comes to cooking, not that I'm lazy, but I'm looking for the quickest way to get food on the table without having to overthink it too much, without stressing. But I mean, this is
Do
as
you
simple as it gets.
do you ever use like tamari in a dish like that?
Ooh, I don't have
Okay,
any, but that sounds great.
let me give you some just some observations from Chef Doug over here. First of all, whenever you can get fresh herbs into and roots, and things like fresh garlic would be great in that. Some fresh ginger grated in that would be incredible. And
Mm.
then cilantro over that, because a lot of Thai cooking has cilantro. Oh, there you go. Yeah, put some cilantro, and then
Yes.
tamari or low sodium soy sauce might have been a good flavor match there. which would
Would you
allow you
have
to use a little bit less of the that sauce that had the sugar in it.
would you have
What is
added
that?
this? I am just adding some sriracha and soy sauce to this. Would
Oh
you
yeah, soy
add
sauce. Yeah.
when do you add your herbs? When do you add them at the very end or in the
Oh yeah,
cooking
when it's
process?
done, so I would take it out and just put them in because you don't want them to wilt too much.
Okay.
But I would have maybe even dry, just did a little bit of water and put some garlic and ginger in that pan first, and then added more water. Anything you can do to get herbs and fresh, it just makes things pop. Those
Yeah.
hot sauces are that sriracha, that's gonna be a really good dish.
I know. It smells amazing. Like I'm already like, all right, done. Dinner's ready. The only other
Who-
thing I think I would add to this is a little bit of tofu. I would do that
Yeah.
probably in the air fryer, cook it up, throw it on top, and then I'll just cut these herbs and sprinkle it on.
Have you ever frozen your tofu first and then thawed it?
What? What is
Okay,
how
if
does
you
that
take a block of tofu and freeze it and then thaw it out, it'll have a completely different texture. It'll be like really chewy and meaty. And you could almost just not even air fry that tofu and just add it right in right now and you'd still like it. Guaranteed.
Wow. Okay,
Crazy.
I have some to try to do
Crazy
that.
town.
Wow.
We might have to do a tofu episode. You know, people are afraid of tofu. I make a Nashville hot tofu that'll blow your mind.
Yes,
Blow
we should
your
definitely
mind.
do that. Have you ever taken tofu and grated it with a cheese grater?
No, I just saw something about that. What is it? What happens?
Oh, it's so good for like wraps, like putting it almost turns into like shredded chicken is what it reminds me
Yeah,
of.
that's what I saw. I saw it stir fried or sauteed or something, and it almost became like a meaty texture. And then they put it over the top, even like over a salad or something.
Mm. Oh
Yeah,
I
there's
think
so
we
much
need
you
to
can do.
sauce. If you guys
Sauce.
are watching and you're like, okay, this sounds good, I think it would be really fun to do a whole food plant-based sauce episode and then also a tofu episode.
Absolutely. Well, I got to figure out what to do with these onions, which honestly, oh, my wife's calling from the next room. She says, she says there's rice in the fridge. Yeah, I got to whip up a little sauce with it. Oh man, those are good. Holy cow.
I'm glad you showed me how to dry saute. I've never done that before.
Yeah, it definitely works. So everybody try that. I'm gonna go finish cooking this dish. And Kendall, I know you're gonna chow down on and you know what? In the time it took, it's been 22 minutes we've been live. Kendall's dinner is done. This could be a whole nother thing we do. We just make dinner together at the same time and talk about it.
That's actually
we
really fun.
We have more viewers than usual, actually.
Food is very fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I always click whenever I see food. My whole like Instagram channel is food.
Yeah, Lori says, yes, teach me how to cook tofu. We can do that. We can do it.
Oh,
all right.
Another one we should totally do. Wait, one more idea that I want to throw out to everyone. I make these incredible sourdough starter tortillas. They are fast. We should totally do just like it's so simple. It's just I don't even have to like think about it. I just make these tortillas. If you have a cool starter recipe or like a discard recipe, we should do a sourdough discard recipe event.
Episode? I don't really I try to avoid the discard stuff, but I do make some killer bagels with my sourdough. So we could do a sourdough. I mean, there's a lot we could do. We always end up talking about what we're gonna do, you know? Yes, somebody else said, Ellen D. Brown said they're afraid of tofu, so they don't even know how to do anything with it. Yes. Sourdough discard, Lori said, yeah. So that's great. There's more and more coming, and we appreciate you guys watching us, and we're just trying to get healthy. And we both used to be a little bigger than we are now, and we used to be have a lot more inflammation than we do now. And it's all from this whole food, plant-based, no oil diet and lifestyle, which not only is helping us feel good and look better, but for me, it's reversing my heart disease right now. Okay, as we speak, my heart is healing, and I know it is because I go to the doctors, I get my blood work, they do CAT scan, they do the whole deal, and it's like this is working. And I am following the Dean Ornish method. He has a book called Undo It. You can check out. There's Forks Over Knives is a great thing to check out. It's a documentary on Netflix. There's even a free course right now. I just put it on my wall, Kindle, that Forks Over Knives has a seminar coming up. It's like an 8-part series that's totally free. So everybody can check that out. Any final words from you, Kindle, and close it out?
I'm hungry, so I'm gonna
All right.
take care and go.
All right, enjoy your dinner, everybody. Hopefully you can make it as good as we did. Get healthy, keep it healthy. We love you. Bye.